It's Friday, September 2nd, and this is now on HNN.
Another Chinese city locks down. This time, 21 million residents are impacted.
I don't know what he took or what he didn't take.
We're getting a more detailed look at the items seized from former President Trump's Florida estate. I'm Natalie Brandt. What the newly unsealed court document reveals.
Can something be on time?
As we head into the Labor Day travel rush, we learn of some major changes at Maui's main airport designed to alleviate congestion.
I'm really encouraged. I don't have to stand and wait in line.
Plus, check it out, an Oahu man hooks a nearly 26-pound monster taco. That story coming up on This Is Now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for watching This Is Now on this Aloha Friday. Thanks for having lunch with us right here in the H&N Digital Center. So as we take a live look at the Reef runway on this holiday weekend, the Labor Day holiday rush is on for travelers. I just checked FlightAware moments ago, and it is reporting more than 3,000 delays across the country and more than 150 cancellations. Not too bad, but nearly 13 million passengers are scheduled to fly at U.S. airports, according to Hopper's app.
That's right. Plus, a savage heat is gripping the West. Isabel Rosales reports on the silver lining for travelers and the serious weather impacting millions of people.
Chaotic summer air travel testing the best of us.
It's really tricky. You show up, you've got your bags packed, you're ready to go, you've got a plan, and like that, it can just change.
Bad weather and staffing shortages plaguing air travel. Thousands of flights canceled since June 1st, according to FlightAware.
It's staggeringly frustrating because you can be there about ready to board and it's like, God, not again.
Hope for Labor Day weekend. Some industry experts cautiously optimistic about air travel.
A lot of the airlines have really upped their game.
Thursday's air traffic went relatively smooth, with only about 1% of flights canceled per FlightAware. In a rare piece of good travel news, experts also predicting a smoother fall travel season with fewer air travel disruptions. Extreme weather also a factor this holiday weekend. More than 45 million people across at least 7 states under heat alerts.
So our forecasts are definitely calling for really high temperatures.
Firefighters rush to the hospital for heat-related injuries. Some parts of California could see temperatures rise as high as 115 degrees.
We are anticipating this extreme heat to be a length and duration, the likes of which we haven't experienced in some time.
Saving energy. Residents in the state asked to reduce electricity usage during peak hours to not overwhelm the power grid. Electric car drivers told to avoid charging up.
It's going to require us to extend our thinking and our imagination.
I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
State and TSA officials are looking into ways to speed up lines at Kahului's airport. They've added 4 K-9 teams to the facility, along with new equipment to check bags faster. And there's now a dedicated TSA pre-check line that should take about 200 passengers out of the standard checkpoint. TSA officials hope to cut the wait times in half. They're also designing another checkpoint at the opposite end of the airport.
We'll see a balance, if you will, on passengers on both sides of the terminal, whereas now everybody's just congested to that one terminal entrance that goes through the escalator and up to the second level.
The new checkpoint will have 5 lanes, but construction won't get started until 2024. Currently, the airport handles about 26,000 passengers a day.
We're getting a more detailed picture of the items removed from former President Trump's Florida home. A federal judge ruled that the inventory list could be unsealed as she weighs whether to appoint a special master to review the documents. Natalie Brandt has the latest.
The newly unsealed list reveals more than 13,000 items were seized during the FBI's search at former President Trump's Florida home last month. That includes 54 U.S. government documents marked secret, 31 confidential, and 18 top secret. According to the list, more than 11,000 of the documents removed were without classification markings. Gifts, books, and news clippings were also part of the inventory.
This seems like it's an issue of paperwork that should have been able to be worked out between DOJ and him. I don't know what he took or what he didn't take.
The federal judge in Florida is still weighing whether to appoint a special master to review the seized documents. Thursday, she ordered the unsealing of the list, something neither side objected to. On Fox News, Trump's former Attorney General Bill Barr called the former president's request for a special master a red herring and blasted his public claims that he declassified the documents in question.
If, in fact, he sort of stood over scores of boxes, not really knowing what was in them, and said, I hereby declassify everything in here, that would be such an abuse and show such recklessness that it's almost worse than taking the documents.
The DOJ's investigation of Trump's handling of documents marked classified is just one of multiple ongoing probes involving the former president and his supporters. Former Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone and his former deputy Pat Philbin appeared in a D.C. federal court Friday to testify before a grand jury. Cipollone is now the highest-ranking aide known to testify in the DOJ's investigation of January 6th and alleged efforts to overturn the election. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
We have an update on the paramedic recovering from the Kailua ambulance fire. A GoFundMe page for Jeff Wilkinson says he was strong enough to be taken off the ventilator yesterday afternoon and was able to whisper some words. His friends say this is a leap in the right direction. Meanwhile, the cause of last week's ambulance fire is still a mystery, but Hawaii News Now has learned that ECRI, a mainland nonprofit that specializes in healthcare safety, has been brought in to help with the investigation.
Now, as we first reported yesterday as breaking news right here on This Is Now, the FDA and the CDC have now both approved updated booster shots from Moderna and Pfizer, designed to protect against the most common strains of the Omicron variant. The State Department of Health says the BA4 and BA5 subvariants make up 95% of all cases across the islands. Hawaii will receive nearly 38,000 doses in the coming days. While COVID has largely become a part of daily life for many, the virus is still killing about 500 people a day in the U.S. and infecting nearly 90,000 daily. And we just got an update about all this news from Dr. Fauci. Here's what he had to say.
Want to match what you're giving the person to what the circulating strain of the virus will be. I do believe there will be benefit essentially for everyone, but clearly more benefit for the elderly and those who have underlying conditions.
The Chinese city of Chengdu has reported more than 900 cases within the last week or so. The city of 21 million people was already locked down under China's zero COVID plan. Christy Lou Stout has more details.
21 million people are confined to their homes in Chengdu, in China's largest citywide lockdown since Shanghai's ended in June. And the apparent trigger, well, on Wednesday, Chengdu reported 156 local cases of COVID-19. On Friday, it reported 150 new local cases of the virus. Now, the city has launched mass testing for all 21 million residents. They've been asked to stay at home until at least Sunday, except for going out to take the test. Only one person in each household with a negative COVID test result can get groceries once a day. All businesses are closed except essential services like supermarkets, hospitals, and pharmacies. And factory production has been affected. In fact, Volvo Cars has a factory in Chengdu and is suspending production. And it's not just Chengdu. Other major Chinese cities have stepped up COVID restrictions this week. In the high-tech hub of Shenzhen, authorities have shut down the world's largest electronics market. And in the northern port city of Dalian, a lockdown is in effect for about 3 million residents. Despite the cost, China is still holding fast to its zero COVID policy. Local authorities across China have been under huge pressure to prevent COVID-19 outbreaks before the 20th Communist Party Congress set to start on October the 16th. Now, this is when President Xi Jinping is expected to secure an unprecedented third term as leader. Now, some Chinese hope that the country's zero COVID restrictions could be relaxed after the Congress, but Beijing has not offered any timeline on a possible shift in policy. Christy Lou Stout, CNN, Hong Kong.
Thanks, Christy, for that update. I want to take you live outside now to something everyone's watching. Yeah, we're looking at the Kennedy Space Center there. We're going to have much more about this in just a moment. Everyone's anticipating that launch there, hoping for it tomorrow. Again, we're going to have details coming up in just a moment after we get a check of our weather from our good friend Guy Hoggy. Bunch of you wanting to get out and barbecue or boat this weekend, I'm sure, for your Labor Day. We're going to be here on Monday. At least I am.
Unfortunately, I am too.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll be here to laboring together on the Labor Day. All right, here's Guy Hoggy with the check of that.
We'll see a few more showers starting tonight through tomorrow morning. So 7 a.m. tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit damp. Make no mistake about that. And the rain's going to linger through the noontime hours into the early evening. So Saturday, more clouds, a few more showers. Not a washout because the rain's going to remain rather light. Sunday morning, still a little damp, but Sunday is definitely going to be drier. And then Sunday night into Monday, look at this, another round of moisture moving in Monday morning into Monday afternoon. So it's going to be a little damp again for Labor Day. So Sunday should be the driest day, but tomorrow should be a little bit damp. And then after those rounds of rain move through, we'll see some fairly dry conditions. So again, fairly dry today. After the morning showers pass, we won't see a lot of rain. More showers due in tonight through tomorrow with windward and mountain showers mainly. Drier on Sunday, and then another round of showers comes in for Labor Day.
Sleeping in your makeup is typically known as one of the worst things you can do for your skin, but a beauty brand is getting millions of views on TikTok after claiming its products are not only safe to sleep in, but can also improve your complexion. Rachel Hackbarth has more.
Makeup artist Lauren Dahl never goes to bed without washing her face, but she's making an exception for this week's Does It Work products, both from Euphoria. We're trying the brand's viral color-changing blush oil for $36 and the pregame primer for $38.
I'm usually pretty hesitant about sleeping in makeup, but they do claim that this is supposed to be good for your skin when you sleep in it, so I'm curious about it.
Both items feature plant-based ingredients that are meant to not only improve your complexion, but also be safe enough for all skin types to sleep in.
So I see all these names, but then in parentheses it says tea tree or apple or melon or fig or stuff like that. So I see turmeric in here. I have high hopes.
Lauren quickly notices the primer doesn't feel like makeup.
This kind of feels like moisturizer right now. It feels like I'm putting moisturizer on my face.
Unlike a moisturizer, she finds this primer is blending with her foundation well.
It looks very skin-like right now.
But Lauren is feeling less confident in our next product from the line, this green color-changing oil that's taking off on TikTok with more than 3 million views. Euphoria claims this serum adjusts to your pH level, complementing your skin tone.
I'm a very warm undertoned person, so it should change to a warm undertoned blush.
After only a few seconds on the skin, we go from a nearly clear green color to...
It was a little dramatic at first. It's a little dramatic, but I think that was user error.
Okay,
so
not the blush.
I mean, you can see on the brush, it's like hot pink.
With a finished face, all that's left is seeing if Euphoria is really safe to sleep in.
I am going to clean my face as I usually do. I'm going to apply the primer, and then I'm going to go to bed.
Here's our results the next morning. Pleasantly impressed, Lauren says her face feels softer and there are no breakouts. While she says Euphoria works for our quick 2-day test, she still wants to see how her skin reacts after a month of use before buying her own. For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Hackbarth.
Okay.
She still has to wash her face.
Yeah. Well, then she reapplied and then put it on.
But you would never do that.
Yeah, you never do that because because most people would have it on for
Right.
24/7, and that's where you really
you just
worry.
go to bed.
Yeah, you would worry about the clogged pores and things like that. All right, worth the test and worth the shot. Glad they tested it out.
Such critics.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about what I alluded to earlier, that launch that everyone is anticipating of NASA's mega moon rocket. Yes, it is scheduled to take off tomorrow, 2:17 Eastern Time on the the East Coast, of course, from Florida's Kennedy Space Center. That's 8:17 in the morning our time. I know there's going to be a lot of live coverage out there you can check into. This is a live picture right now. So if you're looking right now, it looks a little gloomy out there. There was an open window today. They decided not to do that because of the risk of severe weather. And of course, as we've been talking about all week, there's that situation with the system errors that happened on Monday. That was sort of a bummer. So crossing our fingers, want to make sure everything is safe to go, that it will in fact happen tomorrow. Again, 8:17 our time. So keep watching.
All right. A boy in New Zealand discovered a giant earthworm in his backyard. Look at it. 9-year-old Barnaby found it at the bottom of his family's garden in Christchurch. Now, while his mom considered the earthworm the stuff of nightmares, Barnaby was delighted. The boy said he feels like he loves learning about weird animals and described the worm as cold and squishy. After his dad took the photo, they put it back into the garden, and one expert said it appears to be a species of native earthworm, but a close examination would be needed to identify the actual specimen.
And I was reading a story about this. He was begging his parents to let it come inside and keep it as a pet.
That is disgusting.
And they're like, no way, that's going back to the garden. No way. All right, move on.
Would you even put it back in your garden?
Sorry if you are having lunch with us right now, because that was a little gross.
You should know by now, guys. So an English household literally uncovered a buried treasure, and they'll likely get a pretty penny for it. So during a renovation of their 18th century home in 2019, the residents came across a salt-glazed earthenware cup stuck beneath the concrete and floorboards. Now, when they looked inside, they discovered more than 260 of these gold coins. Wow. An auction house issued a statement calling this one of the largest hoards of 17th and 18th century English gold coins ever confirmed in Britain. They say the coins could be worth nearly $300,000.
What a cool story.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to some good news. And just a couple hours ago, Mayor Blangiardi was releasing details about this huge party in the works. You can take part in it next Thursday. It's for our world champion Little Leaguers. Let me play out a little bit of what he announced.
I want to do something bigger and better than has ever been done before, because it's so deserving for not only these young men, but for their mothers and fathers and the families that supported them, for all the families that support youth sports, and all that that brings with it, and the richness and vibrancy of our community. And for that matter, the pride of people in our city and our state, we want to celebrate that. And that's what we're going to do.
So the parade will be held again next Thursday at noon. That's September 8th. It will start at A'ala Park and run down King Street, ending at Honolulu Hale.
The other part that I'm really excited about and why we're doing it on Thursday is because downtown will be populated. People are at work. Every business, starting with all the banks that I called, has said they're going to let their people out of work to come out and be out there and line the streets. In this press conference this morning, I'm asking anybody and everybody who's here's my voice, is listening to this press conference. We want people from other parts of the island to come out as well. You know, it's a Thursday, we understand it's a work day, some people can't, but if you're available and you want to feel good, and you want to extend the great joy we all felt last week in the kids winning that world championship, please know you're invited. Come out for a good time. We're going to have food and drink out here, you know, for free.
For free!
Yeah.
Can't beat that. Yeah, I think that's the mayor basically telling us to take off, all of us to take
Right.
off work on Thursday, go out and have some fun and root on our awesome, we're so proud of you, Little League world champions. Cannot say way to go enough.
I know.
Yeah, so speaking of cheering and sports, it's a big night tonight. Football Friday, high school football is on. So let's turn things over to our good friends Kyle and Steve with more on that.
Yes, that music means Kyle Chinene is here to talk about politics and the economy, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
No.
The election season's coming up, right? Yeah.
It's football.
Let's go. It's Football Friday.
Okay, so we start with Kapolei Waianae.
That's right. You know, you got to talk about the Kapolei Hurricanes. They're coming in to this game with a 3-0 record, perfect through 3 games, and very impressive wins, right? Very impressive wins. And this offense, man, this offense, what can I say about this offense? And it all starts at the quarterback. They've found their guy in Tama Amesone. He's gone 49 of 54 completions on his passes for 676 yards, 11 TDs, no interceptions through the first 3 games, Steve. That's nice. An impressive stat. This is a Kapolei Hurricane squad that has really found their footing in the OI Open, while Waianae is still trying to find their spot in this division. They are 1-2. 2 losses were blowouts. They had a very hard hand. They started the year against Castle, and then their next 2 games were Punahou and Kahuku.
Right, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah,
Those are 2 dominant forces. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Their offense averages 13 points a game, while the defense allows 33. So that defense needs to show up, because that Kapolei Hurricane, you hear the hurricane warnings, right? That's what Waianae will probably hear come Friday when they take on this explosive offense.
Okay, we mentioned this matchup. Okay, Kahuku, Punahou.
Yeah.
These are beasts right here. This is a huge test on both sides.
I mean, what have we not said about Kahuku yet, right? They are the front runners. They are the reigning champs for a reason. Yeah. And this is not a Kahuku team that we're used to. A run-heavy team, yes, they can run the ball, but they can also pass the ball. And so for the Buff and Blue, they're coming off of a big blowout win, 52-7 against Waianae last week. And majority of those points came in the first half alone. So they need to have that kind of performance. Their quarterback, John Keave Sangapolatele, has to have a career day, right? We call it in the NFL, they call them career days. He needs to have a career day if they want to keep up with the reigning champs.
Yeah, poor Waianae felt the brunt of both these guys. And just interesting stat, Kyle, for the last 3 games, these 2 teams combined for 276 points and allowed just 27.
That's insane. That's absurd. It's absurd. It's crazy stats.
Okay, so again, I feel like we haven't seen St. Louis in a really long time, and now here they are up against a national powerhouse, Bishop Gorman. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so this St. Louis squad is not the St. Louis squad that we've seen historically. These prolific passers, these stingy defenses. They're a team in flux. They don't have a quarterback yet. They're going with 2 different guys, Kamakaviva Ole and Kekai Graham. They still haven't figured out who's going to be behind center full time. Their last game was on September 13th against Kapa'a, which was a blowout win. But they're Kapa'a, they're a Division II team. This is an ILH Open team. This is a perennial powerhouse. And their season opener against Mililani did not go in their favor. It was an eye opener, right, for I think the entire state to see a St. Louis team that wasn't really competitive against Mililani. So they're going up against this week the number 8 ranked team in the nation. They are, however, coming off of a loss against Mater Dei, another powerhouse in California.
That's right. And St. Louis is like, rebound, no, get out of here. Hey, by the way, TUDs short for touchdowns?
Yes. TUDs, TDs, touchdowns.
I'm gonna get on the millennial train here.
I'm trying to be hip.
All right, Football Friday.
Yeah, Football Friday. Ready for that?
Friday Night Lights.
Yep. All right, we have time for one more story.
Yeah, so a record-sized octopus was caught in Hawaii waters. Michael Matsunaga is the new taco champion. Check it out. The Oahu man said in a post on social media that he was bottom fishing at 400 feet when he hooked a monster taco. It weighed nearly 26 pounds, and he's keeping the location where he found it a secret. Obviously, I would too. The man he beat for the state record for the largest taco is his brother, Stuart Matsunaga. He caught a 19-pound octopus off Kaena Point back in the year 2000. Now, Michael also owns the record for Hawaii's biggest red snapper, which weighed in at nearly 12 pounds.
All right, mystery solved, folks. Just take a close look at those legs right there. Okay, ingrain that in your mind, okay? Okay, let's go back to Barnaby real fast.
Oh.
That wasn't a worm. That was an octopus leg. Sorry, buddy. Sorry. Yes. But what an amazing catch. Seriously. Yeah, seriously. And you can read about it on our H&N digital platforms. Also, on our H&N digital platforms, please don't forget, we're podcasting all the time here at H&N. Just search Hawaii News Now wherever you get those podcasts. Also, keep in mind, we're going to be keeping a close eye on that moon rocket launch all weekend long, so keep updated there as well. Have a good holiday weekend.